Hi everybody, it's Anne from Anne's Stamps and Tea with Anne. I'm doing a Facebook Live today. I'm trying a Facebook Live, so we'll see how this goes. I made a card yesterday and posted it on our site, on our card site, and it was quite a simple card, and I thought I would try that for today just to see how the Facebook Live goes. So mostly it's going to be a hands down, face down. You're going to be looking at my hands all the time. Okay, so what we have is we have some 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. We have some shaded spruce, which is 5.5 by 3, and on the shaded spruce, to line the trees up, what I did was I took it, I'm not sure you can see it very well, took it and I marked it with a pencil at 1 inch, 2 3/4 inches and 4.5 inches, and that's to line the Christmas trees up evenly. We have a piece of gold paper, which is 5.5 by 2 3/4, and we have a piece of pattern paper, which is 5.5 by 2.5. I also have just a scrap of white that I punched out for the sentiment, and a piece of scrap of gold that I punched out for the star, that I punched the stars out of. So let me just show you. I used the Perfectly Plaid stamp set, which is from last year, but it's still current. And I used the new 'Tis the Season Christmas package. It's lovely paper. It's 48, I think, 48 sheets of 6 by 6, and it's beautiful paper. It's lovely. So we'll put all this to one side and we'll get started. Turn the camera down. I also have some lovely shaded spruce ribbon with a gold thread through the middle of it. All right. And the sentiment was cut from the Hippo and Friends dies. And the Hippo and Friends dies is a lovely set of dies. It's so versatile. It's got 3 different shapes here, at least for cutting out sentiments. And I used this one here, the second size. So we'll start with the shaded spruce, and as I say, I marked it at 1 inch, 2 3/4 and 4.5. Now, it's a little bigger than you needed. It's 5.5 by 3, but it is a little bigger than you needed, but we're going to trim it when we're finished, because as you can see, it's kind of hard to put it in the punching and see where you are. So what I did was I put it right in the punch as far as it would go, lined up the first line right in the middle of the tree, right there. I'm going to have to hold it to do it, to punch it. 1. Do it with the middle tray. 2. It's kind of hard to hold because it's heavy. 3. And we'll just put those to one side. And there you have a piece of cardstock with 3 Christmas trees on. But you see how you have the lines here? Well, I just turned it over and the lines are gone. Alrighty. So then we take the DSP and we're going to stick the DSP to the back, making sure that we've covered all the trees, like that. And it should line up pretty good. And then we're going to trim the green. All right, I put my piece of paper, my pattern paper, right to the top of my trees, to the top of the green, and that leaves you room to trim the green when you're finished. So what I did was, instead of putting my adhesive on my pattern paper to glue it down, I'm putting it around the trees. No, not bothering to go right to the bottom of the trees here. Making sure that I put the pattern side down, of course. And because we used the liquid glue, you can slide it a little bit till you get it right in position. There. Whoops. And it moved. That's okay, we can trim that piece off if we have to. Right. Give me a second. There. That's better. All right. So we'll just make sure it's pressed down. There we are. We're going to take the cutter and we're going to trim this off the spruce. We're going to have a look at it. We would like it to be kind of even, top and bottom. So what we have here is 3 inches of green. I'm going to cut it off at 2 3/4. And have a look and see what we've got. You see, it still isn't even, it's still a little too much, so we're going to take 1/8 off the top and 1/8 off the bottom. Whoops. So now we're going to line it up and make sure it ends up at 2.5 inches, and that's going to fit nicely on the card. Where did that go? Oh, there it is. There. So we have this. All right. So then we take this and we're going to put this on the gold. Now, because the gold doesn't take the glue very well, the foil papers. This gold piece is 5.5 by 2 3/4. And you see, we can trim that a little bit if we need to. Okay, if you think you've got too much gold showing, you can trim it if you need to. But we're going to have to use tearing tape. Whoops. Maybe I'll put the tearing tape on the green. There we go. Just trim that off. Trim. Stuck to my hands there, and we're going to take the tape off and we're going to line that up on there nicely. Come tape. Goes. Pretty close, pretty good. Go. Let's just trim that. There. That's like that, and then this goes on the card. But before we put this on the main card, let's do the stamping inside, and then if we make a mistake, we can always create a new white card, and we won't have a mess. So we're going to use shaded spruce. It's a lovely green, and it matches the ribbon, and it matches the cardstock. As you know, everything matches for Stampin' Up. So we've got a lovely saying that says, Christmas cheer, sorry, it says, hoping that your busy year comes together in Christmas cheer. So I'm going to line my card up nice and square on my mat. Sorry for my arm being in the middle. I'm going to fold that card the other way because I've got a mark on there, and we can hide that when we put the green on. There you have it. Helps if you put the stamp the right way. Lovely. Wipe off that. Oh, green's messy. Might as well stamp the sentiment while we've got the ink open, and it just says Merry Christmas. Let's see if I can line this up in the middle of the, line it up evenly. Excuse my head. Lovely. You'd just think I knew what I was doing, girls. So we'll close the stamp set before we put the arm in it. All right, so let's leave that sitting and that. Pop that out of the way. So we're back to making our card. All right, so we're going to put this, I think, like, oh, there's a little mark in the gold. I wonder what you'll see. I think just about 1/4 inch from the top of the card. All right, it just gives it a nice look, I think. Make sure you got your card the right way. And you know, this grid paper here is great for lining up your cards because it's marked off in 1/4 inches. So if you line your card up on a line and you line your piece that you're putting down, there's your 1/4 inch line, so it's pretty straight. Not quite 1/4 of an inch, but that's okay. There we have it. Now, so now we got to put some ribbon around. So a little trick I learned. Ribbon slips, you know, if you're not careful with it. So what I have here is a little 1/2 inch punch, 1/2 inch circle punch. And all I'm going to do is look at my white piece here, line my punch up so that I can see what I'm punching, line it up in the middle of the white, and just punch out a tiny little piece, a little notch. There. All that gives you is somewhere to hold your ribbon. See, your ribbon will sit right in there, just like that. Oh, and there's my green again. Hope I didn't wipe my hand on my pants this week. The white. We'll cut that off. And we're just going to tie this in a little knot. Now I'm going to show you a little trick, left over right. Just like that. Nope. Start again. And because this is double-sided ribbon, you don't have to be too careful. You know, you don't have to twist it when you're sort of pulling it in the middle there. Get there, pull, there we go. Actually, there's a nice knot. Now, it does look a little bit tight, but when you scrunch your ribbon just that little bit to get it to all sit in the little piece you've cut out, it lies nice and flat. Nice. Just trim that. Oops. Oh dear, it's twice I've done that. Rid of that. We've got the Merry Christmas. We're going to put that up on dimensionals. And we're going to put it over the ribbon. So we'll put the dimensionals at the top and the bottom. We'll put 4 dimensionals. Have you ever noticed how dimensionals never cooperate? I think that knot's in a nice spot. And we're just going to put this, and it almost has to line up at the bottom of the card, but you've got just maybe a 1/16 of an inch there. So there you have it. The only other thing I did was I had a scrap of gold paper, and I have an old star punch, and I punched out just a few stars out of the scrap of gold, and I'm just going to put one at the top of each. Now, I did use tweezers for this yesterday and they worked really well. And there you have it, one Christmas card, all done. Thanks for watching. Let me know, please let me know how I did. If you didn't like this live video, by all means tell me so. I'm trying different things. I'm trying to keep everybody going with that card making. I know it's hard. Everybody's still sort of in semi-lockdown now. I think we've eased up on a lot of the conditions and things, but I still think we need to be careful, so we won't be getting back to card classes for a while yet, much to my grief. But stay card making, everybody, stay happy, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.